had same feelings towards both Second Life and real life, while for 12% Second Life was a limitation. For 23% of university students, this question had no certain answer. Question 10. Would you like to meet persons from Second Life in real life? Option A, I don't need it. Option B, yes, I am interested who is behind the avatar. Option C, I have mixed feelings to such meetings. Option D, hard to say. Majority of high school scholars, 56%, did not need to know who is the person that controls the avatar, and 23% of them had mixed feelings about such meetings. Only 14% wanted to know who was behind the avatar. Most university students were curious to meet the person behind the avatar, 29%, or had mixed feelings about such a meeting, 47%. 7% of high school and 9% of university groups did not have a certain answer for this question. Question 11. Has your experience of Second Life influenced your behavior in real life? A. Nothing important in my real life changed. B. Yes, many issues have improved in my real life. C. Some matters, relationships in Second Life have destroyed something in my real life. Option D, hard to say. For the majority of high school scholars, 88%, nothing important changed. For about 3%, things improved, and for about 2%, something got worse. Almost half of the university students, 48%, said there were no important changes. For 27% of things improved, and for about 5%, something got worse. 7% of high school and 20% of university groups couldn't give a certain answer. Question 12. How deeply are you interested in Second Life? Option A. Sometimes Second Life and real life are equally important to me. Option B. I was in Second Life several times, but it has not interested me. Option C. I am deeply absorbed with Second Life. Option D. Hard to say. Majority of high school students, 61%, were not interested in Second Life. 8% said Second Life and real life were equally important, and only 5% got deeply immersed. On the other hand, 29% of university students said Second Life and real life were equal, 26% were not interested, and about 20% got deeply immersed. About the same number of both groups, 26% of high school, 25% of university, had no certain answer on this aspect. And the last question, question 14. Which form of avatar do you prefer? Have you chosen in Second Life? Option A, human. Option B, vampire, zombie, or animal. Option C, robot, vehicle, or other. Option D, hard to say. Both group majorities, 85% of high school, 74% of university, had chosen the human form. About 7% of high school scholars and 12% of university students took a vampire, zombie, or animal look of avatar. About 3% of high school and 5% of university groups took the robotic, vehicular, or other look of avatar. 5% of high school scholars and 9% of university students did not have a certain answer. For the discussion, I've shown you results of high school and university outlooks on certain things in Second Life. Transition between these outlooks is a lengthy process and usually takes at least a few years. However, that applies to all education levels. Some people will not want to be part of the change. Like in question 12, which not interested result we can rephrase as: people came only for lectures and not to wander around to explore. There are some ways that might encourage real transition between outlooks. I know some of these may seem obvious, but we often forget about them in our day-to-day life. Safe environments for non-matured people. Maybe we should consider the teen grid back. More involvement of legal guardians. Check what your child is doing. Maybe do a LAN party instead of banishing computer access. Encouraged individuality over group lead. At some point, young people should check if the group is not leading to a Borg cube. Awareness of possibilities. Currently, Second Life is one of many worlds. We should let the young people decide which they like better. And also discuss failures. A wall from one side might be a staircase to the success. However, we should not put the fish on the plate, but give the tools to encourage finding the answer. Thank you. Okay, I'll now read the comments. First comment was from Bethany around question 9. That is very interesting. I don't feel disturbed when someone walks into me, but I feel very self-conscious when I do it to others. Yes, for me also most of these bombs are, I don't feel disturbed, but I feel the conscious to not do this to others, but sometimes, lag can be bad. Okay, next comment from Bethany. I think it's interesting the distinction between the two age groups. I do think it's interesting that today's college-aged kids have grown up with virtual spaces, so I'm not surprised they see the people and relationships in the world as more relevant than high schoolers. Yeah, it's the transition went forward, but it's still need some time. Next comment. Yeah, I do feel like it's an intrusion of their personal space. It's real. Yes, sometimes it is really real, and for some other avatars, it's really hard to be bumped. Well, from Max, you asked about collisions. Did you ask from the standpoint of the mover? Example, when you run into an avatar, do you feel you should apologize? Yes, sometimes I feel I have to apologize. That's the thing. Tori, it seems too that perhaps the university students are more connected to their avatars than the high school students. The university students feel they are their avatar. I wonder if this may also stem from the places each age group are allowed to experience during their time in a cell. Well, that depends, because as I said in example of question 12, some people might just come to the lecture and not want to wander, but some will stay longer and explore more. For some, choosing the right avatar on the start is sufficient. For others, it may not be sufficient, so they will try to track ways to make it themselves. Okay, from another Bethany. I think you had a much larger survey than one Marie and I did in the past, with similar questions about how people feel interacting as avatars. I was presenting the university level at VW at the Virtual Worlds MOOC in the past, but that was for the whole group, all over 540 results. Shiloh, yes, that would be a breakdown for different disciplines, but yes, some students only show up for a lecture and then leave. Another from Bethany, it might take a bit more in terms of age experience and emotional maturity to allow people to feel connected as avatars and to build real relationships. Totally agree with you, Bethany. Is there any other questions or comments? Shiloh. Again, students with a physical challenge might feel more connected than, let's say, an athlete. That might be true. But yeah, every single person is unique. So the experience is also unique. Anyone would like to ask something on voice, maybe? Okay, I will see another from Shiloh. And does it have also to do with that subjects are in the virtual worlds for students to relate to? Yes, I agree with that. Thank you for coming. There is no other questions or comments. That will be all from me.